Hello, beautiful beings. Incoming. We were talking about what does it look like to have compassion for people but still have really firm boundaries. And they were just showing me that one thing that can keep a person from setting boundaries for themselves is being worried that we are going to do it wrong. Well, if we're not used to setting boundaries, then it will just take practice. And specifically they were pointing out that some people don't set boundaries because they have so much built up frustration inside that they feel like if they open their mouth they're going to be mean and they're going to explode or cry or something that feels out of control, they're saying. But it's all a part of it. We can't let those fears, it's all fears. Thousands of forms of fears, they used to say when I was going to AA still. 1,000 forms of fear will come in and try to distract us from who we really are. So I thought that was a really great point. If you need help with setting boundaries, we would love to help you with that. And so having compassion for somebody, because I'm just thinking about the men that come into my life and they're sick. The very last one that was here for a day, we messaged all day long. He didn't seem sick, but obviously he wasn't for my highest good because they removed him immediately the very next day. And I haven't heard from him at all. And I absolutely 100% trust that. Just because they're removed doesn't make them bad. But the majority of men that have been coming into my experience for a while now, like my whole life, is they have some type of addiction. And as a healer, they're reminding me, we do attract, this has been in my vibration for lifetimes. I'm overcoming this addiction based type of, like, for myself and being attracted to those that are in an addiction. It's just been, it seems like a part of my makeup, possibly for lifetimes. But that's definitely one thing that my whole family, that we are working on is overcoming addiction. So where were we going right before that? So just because they're removed doesn't mean that they're bad or negative even. So, but I've been noticing that I really want to have compassion. It, like, if the one person, this one man that I've known for over 21 years, if he comes back into my experience, I won't be reaching out to him. But if he actually had, an epiphany and is waking up, remembering who he really is, I want to be there to hold satsang with him. And so I'm not going to, block him out. I would just have to use my discernment. And if he was incredibly toxic at one point or whatever, I would just end the satsang. They're saying that I'll know exactly what to do in any given situation. I've worked too hard. If you've been with me for any length of time, you'll know that I've been working diligently on seeing the men of humanity differently through my heart eyes and not my conditioned or fear-based, any of that eyes. And so that equals having compassion for them. And I can't have compassion for somebody, not true compassion, from my conditioned personal identity, really. I mean, it's all conditioned personal identity, but the useless, no. If I were to have compassion for somebody trying as a person, it would be because, well, for some reason, because I really wanted to, and that's good. It's good to try to have compassion. But in my own experience, the only way that I have ever really truly felt compassion for people is when I have released resistance as much as I possibly can around them, around the situation. I just felt compassion for my middle sister the other day, and it was so surprising. I was crying. I was so happy that she didn't have vertigo anymore. It was, and that wasn't, I mean, there's no way that I ever would have thought that I would have that feeling towards her. I was just overjoyed. So, that's the divine having compassion for her through me. That's, they're saying you don't have to go any further, but it's very beautiful. And I can have she's one person that I've definitely had a wall up around, a self-preservation wall around myself, because she was the biggest bully of my life. And as a little kid, and just growing up, all of my developmental stages, she bullied me, she teased me about all of it, and it really affected my self-esteem, majorly. And this is not a blame thing, but that's how it happened. I've outgrown all of that, but that's not somebody, and she hasn't changed, so that's not somebody that I choose to be around. No way. But I knew that I had a bit of disdain for her still, even though I didn't feel like I had a lot of resistance around her, or towards her, or whatever. Feeling that compassion for her really felt like it blasted out any last little bit of resentment that I had against her, towards her. It doesn't mean that I feel loving towards her at all either. I feel that feeling completely nothing. It's not even apathy, though. It's just done. If she was, in trouble, if she reached out for my help, in that moment, I would know exactly what to do. And hopefully I would be able to help her without, and I've learned how to interact with somebody and very quickly see if I can have them in my experience on a regular basis or not. Well, I mean, the divine takes care of that for me, don't they? They weed people left and right out of my experience, because, and I'm already starting to feel it, like their energy is affecting me, and boom, they're gone. I don't even have to say anything. It's so beautiful. Muji used to talk about that, how that would happen. He said that, well, Muji is an artist, and for a long time he was doing street art, and he was also a college teacher, I believe, and he taught art. And a bunch of students, it was college, so a bunch of students would come over and do art at his house, and he said they'd all drink, and it was really fun. And then one day he was just like, I don't want to do that anymore. And not one person asked him about it ever. It just stopped. So yeah, I fully know and feel, and it's my experience, that everything is vibrational. That's why it's so imperative for us to set firm, loving boundaries for ourselves, so our vibration can rise and we can keep it risen to the very, well, it's our own natural state of being. It's not keeping our vibration high, being present, fully present, in presence, which is our own natural state of being. That's the highest vibration we can get in these physical forms. So there are a lot of things that we can do to help help us, pointers to always pointing us towards presence. And so always working on raising our vibration usually looks like letting go of a really bad habit, or working out regularly, something like that. That raises my vibration, makes me feel happy and so good about myself, and just so confident, and any thought about aging at all completely disappears when I work out regularly. And it's a maybe a 10-minute workout, a 20 minutes max. That's the length of my workouts. And I've recently got to start back in again. I'm up to 3 sets of 15 push-ups. I use a push-up bar, and because it's, my wrists don't like to just be on the floor like that. I do it sometimes like that because I know I need to strengthen my wrists, but a push-up bar really strengthens them also. And I don't go all the way down to the floor. I just go to my bar. Yeah, and so it's very exciting because I just started working out regularly again. I healed up enough, I think 2 months ago now, and I could eke out 8 8 of those kneeling push-ups. And I was just like, whatever, I'll just do as much as I possibly can. And that was just one set of 8. And I've been consistent, and I put my back out just like 5 days ago. And so I let myself rest up for a couple days, and then I'm right back to it. So yeah, I just feel incredible. And that's just one more way I can raise my vibration, which all leads us back to our natural state of being, of presence. Yeah. So and drinking water also, they're saying there's so many things that can help raise our vibration. Smudging on a daily basis with my sage and Palo Santo. I feel that really, really, really helps with that. Yeah. So I've heard so many times, and I'm sure I used to say it, I've been hurt by love so many times, or I'll never trust anybody again. Well, what a shame. All we have to do is learn how to trust our intuition, which is the divine speaking to us. It's a matter of, we hold all the power to never trust anybody again, or never trust love again. No, the people that it was really hard with, we learned major lessons with, and it was a soul contract, they're saying. We agreed to play these roles for each other before we even came here, so we could learn the lessons that we have. Some people get really stuck in those because, of course, a lot of us don't remember yet that these are lessons, and that we are spirits having a human experience, but it's our natural state of being, and more people are remembering. So isn't that exciting? So exciting. Yep. Is that it for now, ancients? I have this letter on maybe I'll read it in my next video. I have this letter from my middle daughter that she wrote for me a really long time ago. It was one of those divine gifts that came to me exactly when I needed it. Yeah, this path, life in general is not easy, but after my ascension, after my remembering experience with Muji, it really felt like the waters broke on my journey, and things got incredibly even more painful. It seems. That's not to discourage you. Remembering is the greatest gift any one of us could ever, ever, ever have. And so I just felt really discouraged, because part of this ascension is feeling like nobody understands. I don't feel that way anymore, but I sure used to a lot. And Beauty wrote me this letter, and I've carried it around for a very long time, and I see it every day. I haven't read it for a while. It's a letter and a poem. Okay, I'll read it to you next time. Is that it? Yep, that's it for now. Satsang with Mamaji and the ancients. We love you so much.